You're watching Mallrats, a Star Wars podcast. Thank you for listening. Welcome back for
Hey.
what do you mean, hey? Welcome
Hey.
back. Another episode of the Mandalorian Rewatch here at the Mallrats podcast. I'm Nolan,
And I'm Bob.
and today we'll be watching Chapter 7, Chapter 8, which is the finale of Season 1.
Yeah, we're done with season 1 at the in this particular podcast. We do 2 at a time, and there's only 8, but remarkably, even though it's only 4 podcasts, it just really goes fast
It
because
does.
by the time this airs, we've been a month away or more than a month after Boba Fett ended, and we still have a little bit more time to kill between that hiatus and what is it, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have cool things coming up down the road. We'll continue with this, up through March and into early April. We'll have a surprise change of pace podcast coming around spring break time that I think people will enjoy. We'll just leave it kind of cryptic for right now. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100% not spring break related.
100% not. It's Star Wars.
It's not spoilers.
It's Star Wars through and through. And before we get going to this, go ahead and get your app all queued up, on your streaming devices. Get it paused, raring to go, and we'll all count down together. If you missed out last episode, at the very end of it, we didn't have any Q&A for that one, but we did have a nice little discussion, debate,
if
is
you
a better
will,
word, of the proper order to watch the different Star Wars movies. Whether it's chronological or by episode number, the year it's released, whatever. And so that's a fun little discussion. If you didn't make it to the end, check that out. That's at the end of the previous podcast. So. These 2 episodes, we're wrapping it up with episode 7 called The Reckoning, as Nolan said. And we can get ready to... You ready to get started?
I am ready to get started.
We can talk during the intro.
I'm ready to get started.
All right. So, wait, was it 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
1, 2, 3.
Or,
it's 1, 2, 3.
Are you sure it wasn't?
I am
100%
sure. Because it was on 3.
Do you want to mix it up and do...
No.
You got to be
confusing.
Consistent.
Yes.
Wait, so it's 1.
Is it 3, 2, 1, go?
3, 2, or 1.
I feel like that's
3,
what it is.
3, go. This is the most riveting podcast.
3, 2, 1, go.
You want to do 3, 2, 1,
yeah.
go? Okay. Oh, okay. So we are paused. We're waiting on you folks, listeners. So get it queued. Pause us if you don't have it queued up. But we're getting ready to count down, and then we all hit start at the same time. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I kind of think we did the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
3, 2, 1 sounded weird that time, but so these are the episodes that we have. The what do you call it? The introduction of the big heavy of this series, which we hadn't really experienced yet up till now. Always needing to know who the bad guy is, who the
big man
antagonist, who's pulling all the strings, who's putting out the bounty. Who's putting out the, all those hits and stuff? Who wants the child?
The client.
The client was just a middleman, and we see the Imperial with Dr. Pershing. You see the Stormtroopers, the Imperial crest on Werner Herzog. So it's one of those that they've got to be something else. But they keep saying that the Empire's done. So it's what remnants are remaining, after we have the what do you call it? The second Death Star blowing up, and the Emperor dying. And that's where the expanded universe does a really nice job of talking about, and they use the phrase in the Thrawn trilogy, talk about how the Empire, not the Empire, but the Republic is mopping up the New Republic. It didn't end the war; we're just mopping up the remnants, and then Thrawn became more of just being mopped up, and they became the aggressors. Anyways, hey, we're starting in space. How about that? And there's the
next one doesn't start in space.
The next one doesn't?
Because they're on the planet.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not saying every episode does.
Yeah,
I'm
you
saying the
said
movies. Movies. It
no.
was the
You
movie.
said everything starts
No,
with
it was the movies.
space.
Because remember, it has the crawl at the beginning on all those, and it's in space.
Just watch the show.
Just finally, we get to see what Grief Karga had to say. Now, last time we saw him, do you think Mando's surprised to see him right now?
No.
Well, I mean, but he shot him.
I mean,
Yeah, I would
I
be surprised. I
guess.
shoot somebody, I leave with the child, and all of a sudden I get a hollow from the guy saying, "Hey, come on back. It's all forgiven."
I don't know.
Well, there's truth to that they won't stop until they have the prize with the seeing all of the fights he's had along the way. Dogfight out in space. Sanctuary, the guy sneaking up, and Kara took care of him. Oh, Kara, we get to see her, don't we? This episode, I think it's this episode.
Yeah, one of them. Optimism.
I love how he touches the bottom, just like Leia does. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Because that's how you turn it off.
I know. It's just cute. The child just passed out. So, does he go back and risk it for one last job,
Yes.
knowing he's safe? He probably has questions to answer pertaining to the covert
Yeah.
because they emptied it out to help him escape. Oh, we got to turn around. Boom.
The Reckoning.
Chapter 7, just 2 more. Well, that looks a little too lush for Navarro. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
This is
Already.
So I guess he gets her right away, just a couple minutes later.
I thought it was later.
Yeah.
Laser belts.
All right, so as a UFC fighter that she was, close combat's pretty good. Not some little, just boxing. When she fought Mando, it got really close and dirty and gritty.
Mm-hmm.
So once they're actually engaged, close to each other, it's very much her game. It's a really interesting design concept to keep them from not
tethered.
Too far away. Surprised there's no shock or something. I think that'd have been fun or weird for them to act with nothing there. Maybe they had some sort of string. Yeah. So her close combat, this is what her strength. And their tap out, just deactivate. That's a cool thing. Mud scuffers. About the most semi-swearing, quote-unquote swearing you get on Disney Plus. Mud scuffers. You got your...
I don't know if it's a swearing, but...
Dank Ferrick and all the other checklists up. What are those? You want to go over them again?
I've got Dank Ferrick.
Nolan is keeping a running total of how many times these things happen.
Dank Ferrick's at 1.5 because you wouldn't let me count it as 2. This is the way at 9.
There's been 9.
And the blaster bolt dings on his armor at 7.
Okay.
No other dings.
This is episode 7, so in 6 episodes, he's only gotten hit?
Yeah.
Wow. How many times? I would have thought he took a lot more hits than that, escaping Navarro. Alright, so he's back trying to recruit her. Well, he knew where to find her. Found her in a bar. She's here. So she didn't want to stay at the sanctuary, but she wanted to... It's safe, and she wants to hang. But to get a shot at the Imperials, she's willing to risk her neck. And we're going to find out more about her backstory in a little while, besides just being a dropper. What are your thoughts about Cara Dune? Are you a fan? Do you
I
like
mean,
her, dislike her? Are there things that
she's an interesting dynamic, but I don't know, not really necessary. Like in the later episodes in season 2, it's like she doesn't need to be there.
she's just an extra person, an extra gun?
Yeah,
I like how they're populating more women and since Disney took over with the sequels, if there's a lot better mix of ethnicities, strong female characters because Leia was always supposedly strong, right?
but just like a
But
princess.
she was a princess and she's much stronger in the literature and the comics. But we could see her sass and attitude, but she always had to be rescued by the boys, or and then when she was a slave, she had to be rescued and
By the
by the
boys.
boys. And so then when you see like Ray and Finn grabs Ray's hand when they first meet, she goes, "Stop holding my hand,"
Mm-hmm.
and so I really enjoy the strength, the fighting ability, where it puts her equal to man. So she's not a gender when I look at her. Um, Acting wise, it's a little off here or there, but
Yes.
after watching this however many times, and she's kind of grown on me in the fact that, or in the sense that I like how all of these characters had to be created by John Favreau, right? And then his stable of writers. So
Mm.
he needed to create new people, and so
You can kind of look past the iffy acting at
I
times.
think so. I think so because I really like her action, and it's her. There isn't any, with Mando, he has like two stunt doubles, and so almost any time there's action, it's never Pedro Pascal. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
with her, you see her face, and it just it adds authenticity to me. So, all right, we're back with Quill.
You talked over them needing to get someone they can trust to watch the kid.
Yeah, we gotta find a babysitter. But now remember Quill's backstory. He was a slave for the Empire, and so he sees there's some animosity between the two here. And then this was a good
Uh-oh.
reveal. IG-11 and Taika Waititi returns.
No longer a bounty hunter.
This was good because I remember the first time we saw it, you kind of like, oh,
What
once we found out
happened?
it was Taika, we're like, oh, that's a shame that he's done.
Could have just been a cameo.
It could have, but just a one episode, one and done.
Mm-hmm.
It could have.
Just like a 3 episode and done.
And with Taika, he does all his voiceover. He probably did it all in a day, right? So his commitment, whether it's 1 or 3 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't much. But I believe, pretty sure Taika directs this episode.
That's not in the stable of directors
No, it was
rotation.
instead of the rotation of the three, and then, well, I don't know. It wasn't just the three because John did one, Dave Filoni did one, Rick,
Deborah Chow,
Deborah. So they each got kind of
Bryce
one,
Dallas Howard.
right? Yeah, they each got their own. Now this is interesting to show. It's as someone who has to learn his motor abilities again. If a human has a stroke or an accident, they have to
You
go to
forget
physical
everything.
therapy. You got to relearn how to write or tie a shoe and just small things. Patience and affirmation. It takes a lot of patience to teach somebody something. Slow and steady. Nice and smooth there.
Kind of rough.
You got to think about, I mean, imagine creating a robot that everything is a X, Y, Z axis,
Hmm.
and then maybe even more so if it starts going laterally. But it's pretty interesting. And as somebody who detests droids already, uh, and has definitely become very protective of the child, you can understand Mando's reservations about IG-11, especially since the last time he spoke to him, he did want to kill the kid. Ugnaught.
I have spoken.
Well, he doesn't apologize for calling him by his, what, ethnicity, species.
Hmm.
Can you remind us and listeners why he has such distrust for droids?
In the flashbacks, we see that a bunch of battle droids killed everyone on his planet where he grew up.
When he was a child, right? And in
Yeah.
battle, his parents put him down, and we see that it is the super battle droids, right?
Hmm.
And so that's definitely where it started.
I
I
have
have spoken.
spoken.
Didn't you keep track of those at one
I
point?
was, but he disappears and then dies. Spoiler, sorry. He disappears and then dies, so there's no point.
Come on, kid.
What? People have watched this before.
Yes, they have,
And if
and
not, that's your fault.
we've said that before. That if you haven't watched Mando, watch Mando on your own, and then if you ever want a second listen, you can watch along with us. I don't. I think she would pretty much crush him.
Yeah.
Okay, so through Baby Yoda's eyes, what does he see happening right here?
They're fighting.
They're fighting. She's causing stress, struggling. While his life isn't at danger, he's trying to help Mando and save him. So the child kind of went dark there, didn't he?
A little bit.
Now Luke, the only time we see him really do that was when he was walking into Jabba's palace, and the two Gamorreans, and he just sweeps his hand, and you see him choking.
Hmm.
Whether they just pass out, or I don't think he's killed them like Vader does, right? But
I doubt it.
so I don't know if the child's motives are dark there, if it's doing the exact same thing that Luke was doing. But I don't see an end in sight of what the child was going to do unless they interrupted him.
Man, he's like a carpenter.
Carpenter, engineer, just very skilled. There's got to be a really for those individuals that have that ability they can see stuff before it happens. It's like people who are sculptors. They see a block of marble and they can see what the statue inside that marble
Should be.
should be, and they're just chipping away until they expose what they already see in there. Isn't that a weird way of
It's a
looking at it?
gift.
Oh my gosh, totally a gift. Morem Saron Navarro. Meaning, I guess, that the client, with his 4 or 6 or however many of those dirty stormtroopers, they
Hmm.
were kind of sanctioned there. I had the feeling like they were kind of not necessarily hiding out, but kind of just on their own,
Yes.
like their own little faction.
Not part of the Empire, but
Hmm.
they are, but just a different section of it.
Maybe not affiliated with the mass exodus. They're kind of their own little thing. How many prop Mando helmets do you think they made?
2,
Well, let's just say there are two stuntmen along with him, so they each have one.
3.
Do you think that they have
Probably
an extra?
extras. Maybe a 5 ish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just wonder if Pedro would be able to keep one and take one home. I think I
I
would
bet
want
he
one.
did.
All right, so this is risky because the last time he was here,
He shot him.
he shot him and he had to escape, and the entire city that they're at tried to kill him. And now he's been offered freedom, but it's still hard to trust. I don't recognize those species, do you?
Human.
Humanoid. Not the green one. The green one looks like one of those characters on Star Trek. The second movie, I think, Into Darkness, where they go to that planet that's like all red, and they were.
Oh, yeah. With the volcano.
I think it. Well, I don't remember if it was volcano, but it was. They weren't allowed to show any sort of
Yeah,
technology.
it was a volcano and they had to like
Oh, okay.
block it or something.
Yes, you're right. They had to drop something in to calm it and save them. Cover your tattoo. It's sleeping.
It is sleeping.
Mm. Now, I don't know if Grief got a good look at him the time that they were when he was escaping with him. So this might be the first time he's seen the prize that so many people are going after. Very stressful moment there. How far do you trust him?
Pram hisses.
They call it a pram. I don't. That word's always been weird to me. So they're gonna go to town at first light. That means they have to spend the night somewhere. The longer you're with somebody, I doubt they're gonna get much sleep. Now, why didn't they write anything?
I
Grief
don't
and all them?
know. They didn't bring
Like,
anything.
we're gonna walk miles. Talk about a fire starter.
Lava.
Rocks from the yeah. How easy would that be? That'd be awesome. Nice little fireside chat. We see in Boba Fett show, especially when he's with the Tuskens or at least with Fennec, they're around a campfire quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Or like twice. How did they get the wood for it?
In the Boba Fett one or here?
Both.
Well, we talked about it in the Boba Fett one, so you can go back and re-listen to there.
I'm not
At
gonna put
one
that much effort into
at
it.
one point, remember they said it was a water world, and so maybe there's some underneath the sands. Because when, like over in Egypt right now, whenever they excavate something, there's stuff underneath it, feet and tens of feet and meters down. But also, where did Boba get his Gaffy tree branch?
I don't
He
know.
had that hallucination. So, I mean, there must be something somewhere.
Yeah.
But here, they're in the middle of a lava field and they're burning wood. Right? Is that why it made you think of that?
I like it just doesn't make sense.
I agree. Whoa. Okay, that
Pterodactyl.
was kind of a jump scare, in that it wasn't you didn't expect it.
I guess a jump scare has to be scary though.
Pitch dark
I like how
outside.
dark it is.
Oh. And then the red just streaks through. Oh no, bye Blurg. Hey, they're kind of like that things in that Gendry Tartakovsky Primal show. One of the episodes with the T-Rex and the caveman.
Yeah,
There were all those flying beasts, and they were up in
with like the
the
spider
nests.
or something.
Well, they were flying pterodactyl things that scared the other primitive cave people. That's a good show, if people if you haven't watched it. It's like 8 or so episodes on Hulu.
What's the title of it again?
Primal.
By.
Gendry Tartakovsky, the guy who did the Clone
I'm
Wars,
just helping other people.
Microverse, and Samurai Jack, which I've never seen. Okay, that looks pretty gruesome.
Poisonous.
Why don't they just cut his arm off? That's what they would do in the Civil War, right? Wartime stuff.
That was the Civil War. They're more civilized now.
I guess. Maybe the poison spread too fast. Cutting off the arm doesn't matter. Okay, now the child coming up here to help out, it takes us back to when Mando was hurt in the first couple episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and you would see him walk over and reach up his hand. It tells you what he was trying to do, even back then. And this guy isn't even a friend. He just wants to help. And you said
He's
you
trying to eat me.
Ray did this, right?
Yeah.
In the newest Star Wars movie to the snake, to calm the snake down and heal the snake when they were underground. Wow, no scars or nothing.
Kid's gonna faint.
Should be a doctor. Kid's got a pure heart. What an ability. Now the next morning they're heading on into town. Okay, we're going to have to pause for just a quick moment. We had some recording issues and things didn't get saved and just tech problems. When computers work,
It's nice.
it's nice, and when they don't, it
It's
causes.
now Tuesday and we haven't uploaded.
Yeah, we haven't uploaded because there was an issue and then we couldn't find time. So what we're doing, we paused it and we queued it up to 23 minutes 40 seconds. So Grogu is healing Grieve Karga, and we'll do a countdown. So just give you a moment, pause us, or do what you need to do. So 23:40, and we'll pick right back up. I just felt, not necessarily journalistically, but ethically, we want you to go through
we could have just snuck in
the ups and we could
not
have
mention it,
but the OCD nature, I'm like, well, we can't get the exact second.
We don't need the exact second.
No, I know, but if somebody's watching and we're quoting something from 2 seconds after they get to it, or we ruin something.
As long as we're after them, it's okay.
I guess it would be like if you heard a delay of something.
Yeah.
When I was growing up watching basketball games, we listened to the radio, and sometimes the radio was earlier than the TV. So, he makes a three, and they haven't shot it yet, and it goes up and it goes in. So I mean, it's I don't know. Yeah, if we're gonna do it, I think we should just do it right. You know what I mean? And it's really not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we are at 23:40 on the Reckoning. And we're counting down. Wait, up.
Up.
Okay, on the count of go.
Yes. On the count of go.
On the count of go. All right, sorry, that was funny. All right, one, two, three, go. All right, so it's going. Touching his arm, healing. That would have been an amazingly bad bruise.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that would have.
There's nothing
healed.
there.
Nothing. Now, remind me, in Happy Gilmore, what does Chubbs lose? Isn't it his hand?
Sure.
Going for like the golf ball, the alligator gets him.
I don't think that's connected to
Star Wars. But I mean, it's the same Carl Weathers, so they almost took his hand here. So maybe this is like a prequel.
I doubt it.
This is the true way he almost.
I think it's just a reference.
I think it is just a reference.
I don't think it's a reference at all.
No, it's just the same character. All right, so we're walking. They're on Navarro. Do we even know the name of the city?
No,
Can you think of that? I
not
don't
really.
either.
They're just getting suspicious about Grief Karga.
Well, I think they're always suspicious. But
They're
so
like, I need your eyes.
Griefs, yeah, I need your eyes. But those people behind him, his lackeys, after Grief gets attacked and it's looking bad, they show a clip of those two guys in the back just look at each other like, what's going to happen now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Great shot, Grief.
They would have shot him.
Mando being so fast,
He would have
maybe.
known he's going to turn around because there's guys behind him.
But
You would
wow,
have known
yeah,
that.
he just, their hearts would be racing for sure. So Grief was always going through, everything was a lie. In a way, he's kind of like Lando. He's a bad, well, Lando wasn't always a bad guy. He was doing what he did for the
Bad things,
betterment of
good
everybody.
reasons.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just Han and Leia and stuff, but it was for the greater good
Yeah,
of Bespin.
he's a
Here,
businessman.
maybe it was for the betterment of the guild if they had a dark shadow over them. You know what I mean? Like, because of this missing bounty was
Mm-hmm.
stolen back after payment. But I think ultimately the money is the driving focus. And so we have him, having his a much quicker, I don't know what you would call it, resurrection of going from bad to good. And so
Yeah,
now I think we trust him. I mean, Mando just gave him his gun. It's the only way. Can you count that? It's not quite. It's the
I
way.
forgot I was doing that.
Well, no, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Maybe that's what messed it up, having too many programs
Nah,
running.
it doesn't count.
Well, I don't know.
It has to be this is the way.
I would agree. This is the way. This is the only way. So if you're selective listening, you miss it.
No.
No.
Plus, I'm not adding any because I added it
Yeah, you
from
already
last
at
recording
from when
part.
we went through them. So Queel is just he's just the savior of this. I mean, without the babysitter,
Mm-hmm.
things would have been really, really different for Mando. Do you think she flexed there as she wrapped it a little bit? It looked like
I
she kind
bet,
of
yeah.
did a little half curl.
Nobody's that muscular without
Oh,
flexing.
wow. She might be. All right, Grogu. Or Baby Yoda at this point.
Baby
The
Yoda,
child. He's the child.
the child.
I don't. It's Baby Yoda just in
Baby
pop
Yoda's in the
culture.
fan.
In the fandom, right. All right, so Queel maybe pick up the pace a little bit.
If he would have,
Just
if
right
he would have
there.
ran there,
Yeah, you only needed 20
or
meters,
put the
20
blur
yards.
closer.
That could have worked.
Spoiler.
Right. I do love the attention to detail of these guys' armor being all sand smeared, smudged, much like in the New Hope.
Chain code.
Chain code. Now this is
Post Empire.
yes, but isn't this the first reference we have of chain code?
Outside of Bad Batch, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before, but like between ourselves. But Bad Batch talks about it, but I think it came out. Bad Batch came out after this because this is still first season.
Yeah.
And then we have Boba Fett in the next season when he gets his armor back from Mando. Spoilers. He pops open his code
Mm-hmm.
so that we can see that the proof of ownership. So this is Mando's first time back into this outpost city since he escaped. The Empire didn't have this presence here before. Because I'm like, the bounty hunters are the ones who would be trying to enact revenge against him.
Baby Yoda.
There we go, Queel. He was a fun character.
Was.
Yeah.
No longer is.
Well, I know. It's
R.I.P.
Mm-hmm. All right, back to the group. Okay, I'm not even counting. We'll trust him that there were four, because there was one hiding back there.
We'll just say there's four.
Yeah. It's nice seeing the client again.
One last time.
One last. Ancestral
Ancestral
artisans.
artisans.
Good, good writing here. All he wants is the kid. He's already paid for
Mm-hmm.
him, right? Now I'm sure there is an added bonus for Mando that Grief could collect on, right? Did he say that?
Collect Don.
Collect on. To collect on?
I don't.
He's a bounty that one
I'm
could
I'm
collect on.
I'm hearing a D between collect and on.
Oh, okay. I need to
Don.
enunciate.
What?
Don. Who's
Don.
now? This is a really fascinating discussion. If you're able to follow along, Imperial rule, how it brings order, and while people might not like to give up their freedoms and such, it does bring, as he said, protection, economy, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Chaos.
I would like to see the baby.
So why does Moff Gideon kill him here? What role does it have to play?
Um,
Or is he just shooting out the place?
maybe, yeah, just shooting him up because remember we'll hear in a bit. He knows that the child's not in there, so there's nothing to protect, right?
Yeah, but I don't know why he has to kill him.
And well, I think he's going for everybody. Maybe.
Whatever.
What would be the point of getting this guy? Tying off loose ends if you're trying to be
Yes.
secret about it. Should really go after Dr. Pershing.
I think he shows up in season 2, right?
I think he shows up next episode, briefly. No, next season. You are correct.
No.
Maybe he thinks he's in on it because he's incompetent.
That makes sense.
Well, we do hear next episode that he kills some people because of their questions
Mm-hmm.
and causing them frustration. Because those are stormtroopers firing in there, probably knowing that there are stormtroopers that they're shooting.
It's
Maybe
okay.
they're different factions or families of groupings,
I
not
doubt it.
gangs necessarily, but maybe the client was an independent contractor. Okay, that's a great shot. All the death troopers. Now, we have talked before that this transport was only ever seen in toy format
I think we talked about it in the previous
in the
quote unquote recording.
recording that got deleted.
I didn't delete it.
No, deleted. It's gone.
That is true.
I wasn't. I wasn't saying. I wasn't
Well, deleted makes it
stormtrolling.
sound like someone did it.
All right, so these guys here, a majority of these are from fans, cosplay, 501st, I believe, the fan group. Um, and so they got to provide their own armor. And if the stories that I remember correctly told me, it was that a lot of them didn't even know that they were going. They were just being like hired out. Like you can see them at minor league games or in parades and things like that. And so there was just like a mass gathering of them. And then all of a sudden they're on set in California of Mandalorian. So you can bet there are some people smiling behind those masks.
It would be hot.
Yeah. Okay, this tie landing is pretty awesome. We've never seen a tie land. You only see them like suspended in the hangar bays of the Death Stars or the.
I think it's a different kind or special.
You mean like a different model number?
Yeah,
No, I guess it could be.
one that's foldable.
Yeah, it's very clever though. All right, Quill.
So close.
It's like a football field or two away. All right, so here we get other than that hologram. The hologram was the first time we saw Moff Gideon, correct?
Yes.
So then we get to see him, and any fan of Breaking Bad is just loving this because he was, well, the villain slash, he was the antagonist to
The same
Walter White's
character.
character. It is kind of the same character, but he just has a perfect delivery. Very stern, not shouting, but commanding.
But you do not.
You do not. All right, so we know nothing about him other than he's calling the shots, and the client was working for him. So he's all knowing to some degree. How they found out? No idea. That's never really addressed.
No.
It's a great line. Then you will ever know. Poor child. Well, at least he moved a little bit. So he
At
knew
least
it
he's
wasn't
not
dead.
dead.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine the uproar?
Oof.
I mean, this whole thing was shot before any of them were released, obviously.
They kill him
But
episode
oh my
7.
lord.
Not even the finale.
And maybe they had an idea of how popular it was or could be, but that's just, it would have been horrendous.
Deborah
Deborah
Chow.
Chow. Deborah Chow,
Yes,
who's
Deborah
going
Chow.
to be directing the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
All of it?
I believe she's the showrunner slash, yeah.
Is our pal Ludwig gonna do the
Ludwig?
music?
I read that John Williams is coming in for the theme of Obi-Wan. Now, whether that's just a rehashing of his classic music, I don't know. But I was thinking the next episode that we do, the next podcast, because they just released the trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe before we start the next season of Mando, we can talk about that a little bit. That
Yep.
looked pretty amazing.
Boom, boom, boom,
Boom,
boom,
boom,
boom.
boom, boom, boom. Again, beautiful. The artwork.
Kind of weird looking Baby Yoda there.
Yeah, he's in a trance. Obviously. Is that kind of like a Plo Koon looking guy on the left? I don't know. I just see pink with the stuff.
I see it as like a helmet thing.
Well, Plo Koon was Dave Filoni's favorite character. And in The Rescue, the very last Mando episode, they supposedly shot it storyboard. Maybe it was storyboarded, but there was Plo Koon was the Jedi. It wasn't Luke.
I would have liked
when
to
they
see that.
filmed it, they didn't know it was Luke Skywalker.
Didn't they like cover it up? Like in one of the documentaries, they told us that they couldn't tell anybody about it
Oh my god!
because then they'd probably leak it.
Could you imagine though?
So they just said that it was
that secret. And Mark Hamill, as out there on social media that he is, but I mean, he knows how to keep a secret. He knew that Vader was his father, and he had to hold that for what, a year and a half. So he's used to it. Okay, so we are getting ready for the finale of the first season, and we are done with the artwork of chapters. They're not episodes anymore.
Chapter
Were
7.
they ever episodes? Well, the movies, but chapter.
I mean, it says episode, but then it says chapter right next to it.
It does. Maybe this is the book of Mandalorian.
No.
No. Okay, so we are sitting on the Disney screen, so if you just kind of jump towards it, we're getting ready to hit start here, and then we'll got a minute or so before we get into the new episode. So
Beautiful blue Disney.
beautiful. It really is pretty. And I'm a red guy, but that blue is just gorgeous. All right, so we got on the count of three. No, on the count of go. 1,
2, 3, go. On the count of go.
On the count of go. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast.
I like it.
No, I do too, but no one would know what we're talking about.
Can we do it?
I don't know. Can we make some segment? You know, we have a Q&A segment. If there's
It's not really a segment because we don't like.
No.
Ooh, we don't have like a little tone that goes like.
You could create some audio, something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a siren, but something that could be dropped.
We'll talk about this later.
We can talk about it later.
Guess that counts.
Which I think we talked about
I added it. Yeah,
I
right
think you
now.
did.
Yeah, but
Against my protesting, probably.
no,
Yeah,
you agreed with
it's
me.
your list. It's your list. You do your thing.
That's exactly what you said.
Good. So, well, that's yeah. So we see IG 11.
Ye-
Aha,
yes.
boy.
Yeah.
Because IG 88's the other bounty hunter. Good. 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 So here we go. The death of Quill. Do you think being Disney, they shy away from killings on screen? I mean,
I think they should do it.
in Star Wars with the lasers and stuff, it's never gonna be bloody.
No,
And to be honest, you use a lightsaber and it shouldn't necessarily be bloody because it
except for
cauterizes.
one time it is.
That well, it was the first time when Obi-Wan
Name
pulls out
another
his
time.
lightsaber. When he in the
Then he
cantina.
cuts the guy's arm off.
That's the first time, and it's bloody, and I've never understood that. I think that was just maybe a mistake.
Design flaw.
Yeah, they hadn't thought about. Oh, okay, yes. Starting off the episode with these two speeder bikes. They're just normal. They just got the baby and killed Quill. And this reminds me each time we see it that this is the Taika Waititi, the director of Thor, What We Did in the Shadows, What We Do in the Shadows. It was Thor Ragnarok, if I didn't say that right. And he directs this, and so there's going to be some humor. He didn't write it, but you can tell it with the staging of actors,
Hmm.
and it's just hilarious. And just focus on their body language, and it's very comical. He punches the kid. Okay, so they did know that they killed other stormtroopers. Shaking his head a little bit at a time. Okay, I think that's Sudeikis with the child right now,
I don't know.
the Ted Lasso.
Maybe you could explain for people who don't know,
Who Jason Sudeikis is?
or the fact that he's in this.
Well, whether he's in costume or not, I'm sure he is. They can just take an afternoon and shoot this. But the other guy's name's Adam Pally, who's a comedian. He's been in stuff. He had a bit in Marvel's, which was Jon Favreau, uh, Iron Man 3, which I think Shane Black directed, but it was still Iron Man was Jon Favreau's baby. He was the guy in the uh, TV truck that Iron Man has to talk to in order to boost his signal or broadcast something. Here we go, just subtle. Only Star Wars fans truly appreciate this humor of them not being able to hit anything. So how'd they hit Quill?
With the speeder bike.
Just run him over?
I think they shot him.
Oh, but they couldn't even hit this thing, and they weren't even moving. I grabbed it up, stuffed it. Mm. I can almost imagine that other guy looking so distraught,
Hmm.
just swinging his legs like if he were too little, for a chair. I just killed an officer. You hit a prayer. You just want to see it. Of course he does. We all want to. And there you go.
This goes on for minutes.
Now, but based on seeing how he escapes and he's so quiet, we kind of thought there's a chance he is not in the bag.
Hmm.
But then
I wish.
he bites him and he gets drilled. All right, so he came from the city then, from his direction that he was
He just
coming.
walks.
Clunk, clunk. Now, this is proof that he's still deadly. He's not just a nurse anymore. But his programming is definitely Queel improved. Wow.
Still spinning though.
Yeah, the first guy has a broken wrist, maybe a concussion. That one could very well be dead. Wonder how much the child remembers looking up the first time he met Mando and IG-11 points a gun at him. How quick he is to forgive. Chapter 8, Redemption.
For whom?
Mm. And I do like how it jumps right back into it. If this were a certain other Star Wars show, there might have been a flashback. Just to split it
Which
up.
one?
I'm just saying.
Trying to think.
But they're definitely hitting the gas pedal to wrap up this season. First very successful season. And it's the show that launched Disney Plus. Now, have you used this weapon in the games before?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you played with turrets
Not an
and stuff,
E-web.
but an E-web, it's just, and it's not just one of those single shot blaster
It's just.
cannons. Isn't this thing pretty much the thing that Cara Dune eventually runs around with, or Cara Dune, and just, it's like a heavy shock trooper, right?
I think that's what she has, because that's the one that jams in the finale.
See, that looks like one of those, what is it?
RT-97C.
What was it?
RT-97C.
I think so. That was just really, really fast.
Yeah.
They didn't have much damage with them, right?
From the Battlefront 1 game.
Yeah. From Battlefront. And so you're right. That's the gun that she uses regularly, but it still has a similar grip to this other one. Okay, question. So she can't blast into the grate, but when Luke and Han rescue Leia in the Death Star,
It's
and then she takes their little standard issue Blast Tech E11,
but that's Empire
shoots
quality.
it. It is Empire quality.
And
And then
they
it
were
just
poor
blasts
because
it,
they
and they
just built a
dive
Death Star.
into the garbage chute. Boy, they would love to have that dark saber now, or any lightsaber. It is kind of nice to enjoy a Star Wars show without focusing on Jedi.
Yeah,
To
and
show
then
you,
screaming that they won't use the Force.
yeah. But it just gives you an opportunity. How many stories there truly could be in the Star Wars universe? As they've had for decades with books and comics and stuff. Not all of them are focused on Jedi. Night of a Thousand Tears. So cool when you got to see that in the Boba Fett show.
Would you say it's the greatest part of the show?
A Boba Fett show? No.
Yes.
No, but it was a great visual. Alright, so we see this big baddie here. He's showing him what he knows. Again, he's very clearly in control. I can kill you now. Kill you later. I know who you are. And didn't even know his name, or he hadn't heard his name in forever, and this guy knows exactly which Mando. So what's his benefit of waiting?
Nothing.
To show them some mercy, which I might not even give you mercy if I don't feel like it's in my self-interest.
Oh.
Because they waste them. The child's not in there. Well, we got the classic villain monologuing, to give more time, and this kind of an unsaid monologuing to allow them even more time.
No.
That's beautiful. Man, you wonder what he did.
We don't have
If
to
he was
guess.
executed, that means he probably had a trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe escape, but
It's great.
okay, yeah. So this is the last flashback. How many have there been? Maybe three up until now. Each one.
This is the third.
This one's the third.
The first one just showed people dying. The second one showed the droid ships and something was shooting them. And then there was a battle droid.
This is the
But
one.
This one shows like the bomb hitting and people die.
Okay. And we just saw a droid fighter ship, and then these big super battle droids laying waste.
Does this check out on the timeline with
Age-wise?
the Clone Wars part?
Yeah, I think so. Because we're 5 after Jedi, right?
Yep.
So that's 5,
It's probably like 10.
10 since A New Hope. And so then Clone Wars lasted almost 20 years, right?
Yeah. He's probably 10 here.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what's he now?
Mid-30s? Low 30s, mid-30s? Kind of like Cassian Andor's age from Rogue One.
I guess.
Right in that area, rather.
Do we know that, like, is he going to be old in the show or very young?
Cassian, well, hopefully it's the same age because
It better be.
it's a prequel to Rogue One, right? Because it can't really be after
Could
Rogue
be
One.
his raising.
Oh, even they found his crushed corpse from the shockwave. Well, great casting on the dad. The dad looks straight up like he could have been the true father.
I know.
Here's how we find out what his true, maybe his true hatred of droids, but then in a beat, his true love of Mandalorians and the Kree and how they saved him and how cool and awesome and fighting they are.
I don't think it's about the cool and the awesome. I think it's that they saved him.
Now look, I mean, it's almost like
The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda.
like a spiritual type thing almost. Come with me if you want to live. I did miss Ludwig's music throughout Boba Fett. Not that the Boba Fett music was poor or weak.
It was good.
Different and really good.
Difference is good.
Yeah, I think so too. I just.
And he did most of it because he did all of the songs that had like the little bits of the themes in it.
Well, that's like little sampling clips.
Oh, yeah, but the other guy, I don't remember his name, but he did like the ambient scores or
He did
the thrill music.
Long flashback.
It's almost like the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. But I think it was better placed.
More cool to the story.
Yeah. Tons of exposition, backstory here. Big episode for him. That's up there, FBI, CIA, Imperial Security Bureau.
He's pouring spotchka.
Oh, he's like, if we're going out good. And liquored up. Taking a shot. Oh, they don't know anything about the child, obviously. I forget that.
They're stuck in here.
The dramatic irony is we know and he doesn't. Neil's been terminated.
What did you do?
Right.
Killing.
The protect might be a little awkward here with what he's about to do with the kid. I don't know if he's necessarily.
He spins around at some point, which he should have done earlier.
Yeah, but like right now, any of those hits. But again, they're stormtroopers.
I mean, they hit people with Beskar pretty well.
They do.
Just to show the ding.
Ding, ding, ding. So fast. Awesome. Subtle, beautiful. Yeah. Good shot.
So fast.
Mm-hmm. Drifting there. Fast and Furious around the corner.
This is Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Navarro Drift.
Unnamed city on Navarro Drift.
Just love the ear slapping back. Okay, this is not going. There we go.
Shouldn't he have done that earlier?
And really, Mando, remember, he put a bullet right through the head. It was point blank.
Yeah.
But maybe that's his only vulnerable spot. Oh, here's your shot. Fuck me. At the right height. I just love how fast he moves. Yes, it's a stunt person, but it's still pretty.
I like to think some of this
I
is
would too, but
him.
it's not. I think they had two separate stunt people for this season, if I remember right. One for more of the fighting and maybe one,
Acrobatics and
yeah,
fighting.
a little
Big gun.
pipe flute that they have there is just, I was watching it and
I think it's a recorder.
I wouldn't doubt it. There's just a little trill. So there clearly are no more bounty hunters here. They all left because of the Empire.
Mm.
So it's them versus everybody. It's not like they're hiding in a covert underground. How smooth he is.
Just walking.
Yeah, he's so angry. He has I know I'm going to do something.
Ding.
Wow. So the bleeding that he's gonna have is from that, obviously.
Hitting his head.
Just banging his head on the inside of his helmet, I guess. He's hurt more from that, which I'm not saying it's not gonna hurt, than he was when he fought that sand crawler in like the second or third episode.
Well, we don't know how long he was laying there.
Just falling off a, I don't know, 8-story building movie. Just lays there. In the mouth. Don't you love the loyalty that's already budding between them?
Mm-hmm. He's a bounty hunter. She's a person of interest.
Yeah.
Or whatever
Well,
ex-rebel droppers are.
well, if she's rebel, then some of the people, depending on their loyalties, might not like her very much.
So did she reach in the helmet? Or is it pouring out?
Head, maybe. When it's hidden, you have no idea where it is. Mandalorian.
Well, he has to find Jedi. That's his mission.
Yeah, the armor told him that. You gotta return him. Look at this guy just strutting. Talk about a hero walk. So, the child has saved Mando from the Mudhorn.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been another one up until this?
No. I guess by saving Grief Karga, he saves him.
Oh yeah, he definitely saves him. He saves the day here. It never goes good in movies with the flamethrower guys.
Yeah.
In Saving Private Ryan, all they have to do, somebody shoots it and it explodes, or maybe it's the Pacific Band of Brothers type ones. What a beautiful shot. And leaning up into the shot. silence is just cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so he passed out there, so that was much more of a exertion. And he's not going to be as knocked out as all this time. It's a little bit better.
I guess it could be like for the writers, it would be easier because they'd be able to put him into more stuff instead of just he's dead for the rest of the episode and he's just asleep.
Oh, that's a good point. So then you're saying that he can exert himself. It'll knock him out for the moment, or make him sleepy, and so everybody will have to save him. But
Mm-hmm.
he saved everybody if he did that in
Not me.
action.
I think this is where he trusts robots.
Well, no,
Or
yeah.
later.
Thing. First time anybody who didn't know Pedro Pascal beforehand.
Yeah.
First thing you saw him in? Was it Narcos?
No, it was this.
What were your thoughts when they took the helmet off? Do you have any idea what he looked like beforehand?
No.
Did you have a moment of, this is going to be interesting?
I had a moment of, oh. Put the helmet back on.
Is it kind of like when they finally removed Darth Vader's helmet?
Yeah, it's
you're like,
he's just an old, like, albino guy.
Well, that back to spray did miracle. I mean, you can see him wobbling. I bet that's him.
Yeah.
But there was a little acting moment there, just a little instability in the ground. Now, is this where he gets charged to return the kid, or was that
Charged?
Charged.
But yeah.
Your charge. That's your order.
His punishment.
Oh, no.
What Mandalorians?
Maybe he hit his head and he thinks that they're still there.
Wouldn't they have moved? They have to move.
They have to, and they told you that in the flashback. Because you're going to have to move, relocate. And Paz goes, this is the way. Or maybe he just forgot or thought that maybe someone would stick around. You think we'll actually ever see a mythosaur?
No.
No, extinct and just legend.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they never existed.
What they talk about? Oh, so just in their folklore that.
Yeah. Because it's all ancestor this, ancestor that, which folklore is about ancestors.
Now, do you think there's different degrees of quality of Beskar? Not just over time. Well, I guess.
I think I mentioned this a while ago,
Oh,
like last episode or something. But like in Rebels, how we're with Death Watch, and one of them gets shot, and they're obviously wearing Beskar, and they get shot, and it's like Stormtrooper armor, and they die. I think it just depends on like the amount of Beskar. Like the Mandalorians here is pure. It's pure, but it used to be like he got mudhorned or whatever. It would have just he would have gone ding or just pushed back, but it tore it up, and there was like mechanics inside. It wasn't fully.
That's why I wonder if there's like a 50-50 ratio of Beskar mixed with something.
This is probably just 100%.
Is?
Yes.
So my point was that she's scrapping it all, and my guess is,
Tainted Beskar.
isn't she, melting it, smelting it, separating the pure
Mm-hmm.
before she can leave? In a way, even though she doesn't have bodies, or maybe they already buried the bodies, this is her way of burying the Mandos. You're like, who's this?
Who do we have here? Or what is it?
Lando?
Yeah.
What is it?
Mm.
Here's where it is. This is the first time seeing it and gets in the order. Mm. Yes. And remember, we learned more about Mandalore the Great was a Jedi
Mm-hmm.
who made the dark saber. Wizards or sorcerers, people who don't know anything about the Force, they throw these, the crazy old wizards, the crazy old hermits, sorcerers,
Mm-hmm.
just give it some sort of trying to understand it. United with its own kind. So what did you instantly think? Jedi?
I thought Yoda's.
I was hoping Yoda's because I'm
Or
sure
whatever the species is
whatever it
of
is, and
Yoda.
we talked about that, I know, it's somewhere, form, but it was Yoda was purposefully never given a species or a whole planet. And back when they were doing the expanded universe of all the books over the last 20 or so years, everything that they wanted to do, they had to get approved by Lucasfilm. Like this plot, this one book where Chewie died, they had to get it signed off. They were killing these people and doing these
Jeez.
things. And so, it was a concentrated effort by the higher ups in the whole Lucasfilm thing,
Not to
like
reveal
not to
anything.
reveal. So at some point, though, shouldn't you?
No,
And that'll show
it's
you what an amazing chaos.
best kept secret.
But it is the best kept secret. At some point, because I mean, at the end of ET, spoiler, you see a few more ETs when they come to pick him up and take him home.
You do?
You do? What?
I don't remember watching it.
Oh my goodness! And so that's just, it was cool to see multiples, and not that we expect him to the baby to find its parents,
No.
just to be around others of its breed would be kind of a cool shot and see what the whole world looks like. Because I think most people associate Yoda with Dagobah, and so they think that that's the type of planet. That's where we meet Yoda.
Oh.
So the Mud Horde signet, that's big.
And the jetpack.
Jetpack's huge. Still don't know how they do that with capes, though. Notice it doesn't have a rocket, though. There's a spot for it.
So she just said that if you don't know it, it won't listen to your commands. But in like literally 10 minutes, he's flying around.
Well, he had some experience with it.
But he had to begin his drills, and that's a new thing.
Maybe that's why he's haphazard when he's doing it. He's not.
Like flying around weird.
You know how those other Mandos were just hovering, shooting in the earlier episode, That was the other Deborah Chow episode. I like her. some sort of, and I think we've talked about it before, but what is her role? And there's is the armorer because they're a warfaring people. If there's no king or queen or leader, is the armorer the one that they go to for
I think where you get your where you get the thing that makes you live, that becomes
you mean
the
like
thing.
sparrows are all your armor and
Yeah.
her trait, her skill is so valuable.
If their survival is dependent on armor and weapons.
But she's not just that's my thing, she's not just a blacksmith, which crushing right here.
Oof.
Awesome.
The bolts of
Oh,
it.
right in the forge. That's awesome. I need to look this up to see if this is one, if it's a female. Oh, shattered.
Oh.
Or and if it's the Black Tuscan that I really wanted to have more done with. And both that. Very good. But yeah, so I mean, but she has knowledge, right? She has history. She's schooled.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just some warrior type person. I don't know. I find her fascinating. It's something that I'd like to see more of with her. I love that she goes here, hold my beer. I'm gonna take care of this with the baby in hand, one armed. Cara Dune to the rescue. She's one that grew on me. I'll be honest.
Yet she jams her machine gun.
In the ground to shake it loose. Is that what you're talking about?
No, she jams it in the second season. Like it jams.
Oh yeah. I
Like
mean, then you see her like, bang, bang. I don't know how lasers and stuff do jam. Maybe it's just she doesn't oil it properly or something. You know, you gotta shoot your gun right.
mm-hmm. Ew.
Down the river. You really go up it.
Slowly.
Well, I'm looking up stunts in this episode, and there's no stunt people listed that I can find. So I guess we have to believe that was Emily Swallow, the actress, doing it.
Mm. Mando vision.
Oh, hold on. On this second. Nope. There's a stunt double for the armor. Her name is Lauren Mary Kim.
Is that your lady?
She doesn't show up. Looks like she's done a stunt double on Daredevil. She was a stunt performer on Clone Wars, the final season, so maybe like a CG something. But not the one.
Whoops.
That's okay. I'm just curious. But there are about 4 or 5 women listed as stunts people in this episode. But I'm pretty sure Cara Dune does her own stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do you think about the creepy R2 unit back there?
It's dead.
Well, I meant the.
You talked over the
I
whole
know,
part.
I'm sorry. But just kind of coming alive and very Venice with the gondola.
Ah, Venice.
Venice. Too bad it didn't like chirp and sing, you know?
It did.
It taught, but I meant like
Chirping rhythmically.
giving some love. It's always rhythmically.
That's what it said.
I know
The
it's
subtitle said chirping rhythmically.
or just hum to itself. No, just in the background. All right, this is just fantastic because
A moment of vulnerability.
yeah, let's just say there's been 15 minutes, 20 minutes since Mando was saved by IG-11, and he hated droids. I'm not a human, so I can see you. and now he's sacrificing himself, and Din doesn't want him to. It's not just because the dude's a great fighter,
There's a bond.
but there was a bond that came out of nowhere, and maybe a self-realization of Din's that
Lack of a father figure.
could, yeah, and that he was wrong all along, and there is maybe goodness, and that somebody else, even if it was a droid, took care of the kid as much as he would.
We'll never know.
Yeah, that's all right. It's fun just to speculate, but to see that evolution of Din, this episode was maybe his most transformative of what he was to what he becomes. Great explosion.
I'm starting to wonder who the manufacturer is of all the IG droids.
Veggies.
Is it like a private person? Is it a company?
You mean in a way like they could just turn out battle droids out of a.
Yeah. Is it like a secret company where they're like how it has to be destroyed, it can't be captured?
And the only two IGs that we've come across, I mean, this one's the only one that's talking and stuff. And they're both, though, IG 88 from Empire.
11 and 88.
They're both kind of on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Self, they're self-aware, and they're able.
Well,
to...
all droids are self-aware.
But what I mean is, they're able to be self-sufficient, travel on their own.
They can learn.
Have a purpose, learn, have priorities. And so if you had a whole factory of, he's just waiting. If you have a whole factory of them, would that be good for society to let those free roaming? An endless supply?
The new empire. Make IG droids that make IG droids.
I think the perfect one would be that nurse protector type.
Mm-hmm.
Who has all the capabilities, but actually.
And you can sell it as like a bodyguard.
Exactly. I think that'd be great. All right, here we go. Just staring him. I love when they just slowly zoom in on Mando. On his mask. Find that well.
Love the grapple.
Mm-hmm.
Whip it around.
Oh my gosh, the G's that you'd be experiencing getting whipped like that. The most close-up of a tie we've ever gotten.
Why did he drop it? Don't pull it all the way back. Just keep it close.
Could he have done more in the? Maybe he was too far away with the spin, a little closer to the ball cockpit.
He could have.
Okay, that's gonna be a. There we go.
Splat.
They don't hit buttons. How do you think they control it?
Brain.
You think there's an so he got implanted down in the armor?
I don't know. Maybe it's in the helmet.
I agree.
And the helmet has brain waves or something.
Maybe it's voice activated.
I like it.
Just guys walking up to him.
Scum and villainy.
Oh, great Easter egg. Kara gets to have an identity. Doesn't have to live out in Spotchka land. Because she fought him. Remember, she fought him because she thought that made her like.
He had a fob.
It's so nice establishing. He's all good. His debt's quite clean.
So cute.
Not a lot of color on this planet, so that green is really kind of, as was the lava. Very stand out.
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always put it in the safest places.
No.
Remember how many times it's been dropped or thrown? Was it Toro?
He
Toro,
squished him.
where he kind of threw him when he got shot off the
He's not a very responsible father.
Well, he's learning, man. It's kind of stressful. Learning.
To be in a galactic war against a non-existent empire.
He's a bounty hunter. He's putting himself in danger on his own.
Didn't he technically fail his quest? Because he gave up Baby Yoda to Luke. But then he gets him back.
Yeah.
So he never dropped off the foundling. So he's going to have to train him.
Well, he passed off. He put him where he belonged. So, done. Now, whether he goes back and gets him, that's a whole new story.
I'm predicting the plot of Season 3. He's going to go become a Mandalorian again.
What about those bounties that he took when he already dropped off the child to Werner Herzog?
What about it?
He dropped them off and he picked up more bounties. Are those bounties still good?
I don't remember that.
So, anyways, it's a good
ending
episode. Beautiful. I think you mentioned once or twice that he should have done a quick drive-by over here to
he should have. It's check. Right there. A little bit of who's the one who created the Darksaber? Is it Favreau?
Filoni would have been in the Clone Wars the first time we ever saw it, right?
Sure.
Gosh, that's awesome. Because I couldn't remember for the life of me where it went in the
right here
in the cartoon. Awesome. So he's even cooler and badder than what we thought he was going to be.
Not even a scratch, though.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's why
that's why you wear seatbelts. But to be fair, though, when Poe, we don't see him crash after he escapes in Force Awakens, but we see it kind of the same type of, devastation before it gets sucked into the ground. All right, so that's the end of the first season.
Wow.
So the cover art kind of goes quick. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to this or giving you an opportunity to rewatch them if it's been a while. As we always said, which at this point, hopefully you figured out, you should probably watch it on your own first and just enjoy the ride, and then either do a quick rewatch, additional exposure to it, or just come back to it down the road. Agree?
I
don't know.
I'm just
agree. Asking. You agree? Awesome. Yeah, some good cover art. Ooh. All right, well, that's it. We're done for this episode. So we will be back for season 2, in the near future for the watch along. At the time of this recording, we're about 2 months almost exactly away from Obi-Wan Kenobi showing up. So we have some fun, exciting podcasts coming up beyond just the rewatch of the next season of Mando, and we'll talk about that more in the future. So stay tuned.
Send us questions or else.
Yeah, Q&A. Go ahead and send some of that to us. We'll get it in our next episode, whether it's about Mando, if you are rewatching, or doing, just getting through Boba Fett. Maybe what you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi in that trailer. What you're thinking. Feel free to reach out to us. You can hit us on all of the social media platforms, our YouTube channel, all in the description of this episode, the Twitter, Instagram, any of that, and we'll get back to you. So anyway, you got anything left to add?
No.
All right.
That's it.
That is all she wrote. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy it. We enjoy going through this, and it gives us something to just kind of chill and talk about. even if it's silly and way off topic sometimes. Hopefully,
very off topic.
hopefully you find it a little bit entertaining. So anyway, thanks so much for listening, and I'm Bob.
I'm Nolan.
Thanks for listening to Mallrats, the podcast. Till next time.